good evening, everyone. Welcome once and again to listening to me on Daily Bread. I'm Sister Wanda, and I'm here once and again so we can share just a few minutes together and listen and hear about God's words. Today's topic is the tongue can no man tame. Because you know how we say things sometimes. I'll be looking at my notes because I always write my feelings down. And every day we have a struggle in life. You have to face some kind of situation in life. There's always some kind of conflict. There's always something or someone that you have to deal with. And sometimes it's not always on the best terms, because we got to remember that the devil is a roaring lion and he's seeking whom he may devour, which means he is trying to take you out. But you have to be strong and lean and depend on Jesus alone to get you through, to help you change your attitudes, to help you change the way you do things. And you know, sometimes we get into disputes with people, but it's always better to not. Don't sing to the devil's level. Don't say words back and forth to each other, because guess what? Whoever said, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, that person is an idiot and a liar, because words do hurt you. And once you say the words, you cannot take them back. You can say, I'm sorry, but it doesn't change anything. You already said whatever you said. And it's hard because sticks and stones, if you get beat with sticks and stones, your body's going to heal. But words sometimes cut to the heart. And words, you can't take words back. When you say something mean and hateful, or you say something to hurt somebody's feelings, you can't take those words back. And when we react to things in the flesh, remember last week we talked about the fruits of the Spirit. We have to always exercise the fruits of the Spirit: love, kindness, peace, long suffering. All those things we have to exercise and walk in the Spirit, not in the flesh. And you know, growing up, I always had to have something to say. All the time. I had to voice my opinion. I had to fight for somebody's rights. I had to be the one that always had something to say. And one time, I said the wrong thing and my dad heard me. And my dad told me, your mouth is going to be the death of you, because he said you can't always just say what you feel. Sometimes you have to consider what the other person is feeling sometimes. You just can't go around saying everything you want to do because you have your opinion and your rights and you feel this or you feel that. It's not always necessary to always say everything. We have to learn to control our mouths. We're not perfect, but we can control our mouths, because it's better to not say anything than to say something nice. My grandmother, sometimes I'll stand on my grandmother's principles, and I won't say anything because she said, well, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything. You can't. When the devil is picking on you and getting you to sink to his level, don't do it, because then you can sink to his level, and once you sink to his level, he's won the game already, because he got you to sink low. He got you to holler back and scream. He got you to curse somebody out. He got you to do whatever you did that was against God's way and something that was negative. He got you to do it, so he's already served his purpose. And once you say things to people, you said something to a person that could eat a person up for life. That's why we have to learn to control our mouths. We don't always have to say everything we want. We don't always have to have our name written in the sky. We don't always have to have our name up in lights. We don't always have to say something. We can learn to be Christ-like, and we can learn to control ourselves. And the worst thing is saying things, flip things, negative things, hurtful things, mean things. It's hard. It's because you can't take those words back. And sometimes when you have those words that you say back and forth like that, like just being mean and hateful and stuff, you can really hurt yourself, actually. Because then you have to think about what you said or what you did, but mostly we're talking about words. But you have to think about what you said, and you can go and say, oh, I'm sorry I said this, or I'm sorry I said that, but it doesn't matter because you already said it. And once you say it, you just can't take those words back. And I think about how sometimes people say things and then they're not sorry for what they say. Words can hurt you. Words are terrible things if they're not used positively, not used loving, not used in a kind way. They can really hurt you. Another thing my grandmother used to say is the devil can't argue by himself, which he can't argue by himself. But the main thing that we need to focus on trying to be Christ-like, in Matthew chapter 27, arrested Jesus, and they took Jesus from court to court, accusing him of this, accusing him of that, calling him names. And I like how the Bible puts it. Listen to what it says. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Art thou the King of the Jews? And Jesus said unto him, Thou sayest. Verse 12 reads, And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. That was Matthew 27, verses 11 and 12. I like a 12 where it says, and he answered nothing. They accused him of all kinds of things, but Jesus did not say anything. You know, they sang the song, he never said a mumbling word. Means he didn't complain. He didn't say, well, that's not true. Or he just listened to him and took that stuff in. And I think that is amazing the way they said it. And he answered nothing. He didn't say anything. Jesus got accused of all kinds of things. And he never said a word. But you know what? We have to learn to not say anything too. When we know it's going to cause confusion, or we know it's going to cause an argument, or whatever the case may be, whatever the situation may be, to be like Jesus and be quiet. What would Jesus do? So we have to remember, what would Jesus do? We have to learn how to control our mouth, control what we say. Okay, we're going to go to James chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, and talk about what happens when we just pop off at the mouth and we use our mouth negatively. And it reads, Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and is set on fire of hell. That was James chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Did you read that? It's set on a fire of hell, which means the tongue can start a war. This tongue can start a great, when it says a great fire, it means it can cause a lot of trouble. Just because you want to say what you want to say. We got to watch what we say to people. We got to just watch what our mouths Our mouths have to be controlled. Because guess what? Your mouth is going to either lead you to heaven or it's going to lead you to hell. That's all there is to it. There's no in between. There's no purgatory. It's one way or the other way. And it's better to speak loving, kind, and wonderful things. Always try to think positive. That's what I always do. They used to always tell me, well, you see the world through rose-colored glasses. Maybe I do. But I see the world as being a world where people get along, loving, kind things. They love each other no matter what. Because to be trying to make your way to heaven, you have to love people no matter what. You don't have to like everything they do, but you still have to love them. Because God loves us no matter how we are. He loves you regardless. He doesn't like what you do with yourself. He doesn't like what you say with your mouth. He doesn't like those things, but he still loves you. Because when you love unconditionally. You love regardless. You love in spite of. And one way to love is to try and keep and tame what you say and and to control what comes out of your mouth. Because either out of your mouth is gonna come a blessing, or out of your mouth is gonna come a curse. You get to choose. You always get to choose. But let's just, for now, focus on what we say to people. Because what you say, if you say it, it must be in your heart. Because people always say, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Well, you said it already. If you didn't mean it, you already said it. So what's supposed to happen now? Because you already said it. You can't change what comes out of your mouth. But if you say positive, wonderful things that encourage a person no matter what, then you can get somewhere. But beyond that, you can't get anywhere unless you're being what God meant for us to be, loving, full of love for each other. And therefore, we have to always watch what we say comes out of our mouth. Because remember, whatever that horrible thing you said to that person that you love, you can't take it back once you say it. So let's not call each other out of our names. Let's not be mean and hateful. Let's try. Who said that? Let's just try to get along. Who said that? I don't remember. But anyway, we have to try to get along with each other. Because it's one thing that I know. If we can't get together and can't get along down here, how are you ever going to get along and make it in heaven? You won't. Because there's only love, peace, and happiness in heaven. And if you live in a world where you're hateful and mean, and you like to bicker back and forth, and you like to always just say whatever you want to say, you can't do that. Because you do have to learn to have decency and respect for the other person's feelings. And there you have it. So I hope to see you again soon. And if you see my video, like it and share it and subscribe to it. Because if you subscribe to it every Sunday, you'll get a new one. And so until then, keep your mind stayed on Jesus. And remember, God loves you, and so do I. God bless you. Love you. Appreciate you tuning in. We'd also appreciate if you click the link in the description below to purchase your Daily Bread merchandise. Thank you.